Prof is here, we'll get to Prof, but I think that this is the very first largest delegates elections we have had of any political party.
Right.
It started with the NDC some time back when they expanded their electoral college, and then the NPP decided to expand their electoral college too. And then they have again expanded the electoral college currently to over 200,000 delegates voting, including now past executives.
Right.
If you get into the political circles and the political arena, what you hear them say is that the worst thing to do is to be a former and they add something, either a former executive, whether polling station executive, whether an area coordinator,
Right.
whether a regional executive or a national executive, because you are not acknowledged in any way, apart from being a former national executive, that you would be part of the National Executive Committee, that's the neck of the NPP,
Right.
you will not be recognized anywhere. You will not be seen anywhere in voting, in decision-making, and so on and so forth. So in this one, that they expanded, and it's part of the reforms that they embarked upon. You remember that, I think this was University of Ghana Stadium,
Right.
when they were
When they had the
going
conference.
through, yes, the conference to go through the constitution and change some things, the issues about the age of who becomes a youth organizer,
Right.
and that you necessarily have to be under 40 years, and all of those things have come up. So they are gradually going through reforms, and this is what we journalists, we the citizens of Ghana, we want to see, because I've kept saying that a political party like the New Patriotic Party is a major stakeholder in the economic development of the country. A political party like the National Democratic Congress is a major stakeholder in the development of the country. And so whatever they do borders on your development, on my development. And so if we said in the run-up to the 2024 elections that you have had an abysmal management of the economy, that your party is in tatters, there is a lot of division, then there is a need to go through a reformation process. And so when we see the result like this, how it is coming along, we get excited that you're doing something good.
And so that is why the party has decided to elect a flag bearer as early as they can.
Part of the reformation.
Yes,
I mean, we'll get the expert analysis from Prof when we get there. But I think that there was a good thing. People have been up in arms about...
So, Kwesi, those are live visuals from the headquarters of the New Patriotic Party.
Right.
As we await the final, that's the announcement as to who has won this particular election. And so my colleague Dominic Ansapra is on the ground and will definitely be speaking to him in a bit to ascertain.
So this is the headquarters of the New Patriotic Party, and waiting for... is that a victory speech or whatever
the party would
elected,
have to address
the elected
first.
Candidates?
Yes, and share
of
with
course,
us
the general secretary would come and speak. So, like I was saying, I mean, it's a good reformation, at least a good result of the reformation that they are going through so far.
You see, as we went on that break, and what happened was that Prophet Bernard Eshen put up a post on Facebook. And it's a post where he is apologizing to the whole of Ghana and to everybody who's been affected by his prophecy that it did not go well. So I want to read that, and then I can introduce
Prof, that's fine. Please
Prof,
go ahead.
Prof as we do that. So that's a lot has been happening on socials after that message from... that is Bishop El Bernard, or Prophet Bernard El Bernard Nelson Eshen. So he says, public statements and apology. I wish to address the inaccurate prophetic declarations I made concerning the New Patriotic Party's presidential primaries. Through a book, videos, and media interviews, I stated that Honorable Kennedy Ohene Japan would win the primaries and become the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party. That word did not come to pass. I missed it. I was wrong. I am deeply sorry, and I ask for your forgiveness. Because I spoke publicly with prophetic authority, many people trusted my word, and some were affected emotionally, spiritually, and politically. I acknowledge this with humility. I take full responsibility for this prophetic word. I sincerely apologize to everyone who trusted my word and was hurt, disappointed, or negatively impacted in any way. I am especially sorry to those who made decisions based on what I declared. I do not blame anyone or shift responsibility. I accept that this prophecy as declared failed. This moment has caused me to pause, reflect, and realign myself in accountability and discernment regarding how prophetic revelations are communicated. I remain committed to integrity, growth, and truth. To all who were disappointed or hurt, I humbly ask for your forgiveness. To believers in Ghana and around the world who felt disappointed or wounded, I sincerely ask for your forgiveness. I offer my apology to any believer in whom my actions may have sown doubt regarding the voice of God and his ability to speak to his people. I am grateful to those who have corrected me and are correcting me in love, and to those who continue to pray for me. Signed, Prophet Bernard L. Bernard Nelson. Let me invite in Professor Eche Sikanko. He is the Dean for the School of Journalism and Media Studies at Unimac. Prof, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
you're welcome, Prof.
It's good to see you. Right. So, Kwesi, hold on your thoughts about this. Let's cross over to Dominic.
You can see that I want to talk, but I mean,
let's cross over to Dominic and surprise at the
Right.
NPP's headquarters to share with us what is currently happening at the party's head office. Hello, Dominic.
Yes, that's it. I can hear you loud and clear. Just that the noise here is something else, but we'll try our best to give you the necessary update or information that you do deserve.
Right, so go on. Share with us. We can see a lot of people around. What is happening? What should we be expecting?
Right. All roads lead to the party headquarters here in the Asylum now. I don't know if you can see us in the shot. The euphoria here is very high. You can see that all party heads, party executives, name it, all of them are here. Parliamentarians, from the minority leader to the minority chief whip, the deputy, whoever that matters in the MPP fraternity is here at the MPP headquarters. We are told that other old folks in the party will join us before declaration will be done. As it stands now, security is in check, ensuring that everything is dealt with appropriately so that we can all live here safe and sound. But as it stands, you can see that the bouncers have converged here at the forecourt of the headquarters, jubilating earlier on and now. So there are some gospel songs at the background already, playing, showing that the win has come for a particular candidate. But as to the declaration will be done is what we are waiting for. We are not told anything, whether in an hour's time or 30 minutes time, but then we are told that definitely it will surely go on, so we should all wait. So national security is here, the Ghana police is doing a good job. They're ensuring that everybody that matters here to hear the resounding victory of one of the candidates will be protected. So if you ask, this is what is really going on here at the headquarters of the National New Patriotic Party. That's it.
There's so much noise going on there, but we'll definitely come back to you as the party prepares to tell us who has emerged as the winner officially, and then we can continue with that. So you heard from Dominic and Sapra from the New Patriotic Party's headquarters at Asylum. There, we're back here in studio. Prof, once again, welcome to the program, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
As a professor in this space and looking at the New Patriotic Party from 2024, what happened to the party losing the elections to the NDC, and now the party trying to build up again, what was the image that this election was going to portray to Ghanaians in general about the NPP?
Well, the loss of the election was quite significant. It was not just a loss, it was cataclysmic. It was a humiliating defeat of quite a substantive proportion. And so a lot of people were looking at the party and wondering how exactly they were going to come out of that abyss. With such a loss, there's always the propensity for it to further split the party, a lot of finger pointing, a lot of blame game going on, and many political parties don't always survive after such an electoral loss because everybody is trying to blame everyone for it. The NDC, we saw, had to go through their own process. They had the Kwesi Butchie reports. The MPP also did the same thing. And the question for them was, how exactly were they going to be able to come together again? And so I think one of the main things that they tried to do was to have an early election, primary election. Of course, a lot of people, caused split hairs and a lot of debate and contentions in the party. Some people were not too happy that they were going to do an early primary. The idea was that they needed to start from the bottom and come up and all of that, but they stuck to their guns, and now the election has been held. I think for many people, it is the first process towards the reorganization in the party. I mean, presidential primaries have the potential to really, really do damage to a party. And now that they are over with that, I think for the NPP, it is an advertisement for their party that, well, at least they are taking steps to coming back together again. It's also an advertisement for democracy that even despite such a situation, they've been able to go through it. So when such events like this happen, it has a certain symbolic outcome for a political party, organization. People see it, and for their voters, there is always the potential for them to feel disenchanted, to feel very disappointed, to feel very less inspired after an election. And one of the things I think this event has done is that it also gave them an opportunity to go around and reassure the members of their party, to give them something to hold on to. The whole primary process gave the party, imagine there was no primary. Then it would have just been a dormant moment for them. But the primary process gave them a chance to go back and get in touch with their constituents. And so I think that is what it has done for the party. It has kept at least the enthusiasm or the commitment to a certain level so they can hold on to them and then try to build on from there. So I think it's a good advertisement for the party.
Right, and looking at the aspirants, especially the 5 of them, and what the messages they were preaching, unity, back to roots, talking about solving some of the issues that have come, into the party, all of these while, and making sure that from there, whoever is chosen as the leader or as the flag bearer of the party will be able to solve some of these things. What was your assessment of the messages across board and the impact that it would have on anybody who would emerge the winner?
Well, I think the Baumia campaign staked its claim or its argument on the fact that he was the most marketable person moving forward. They also said he was the person with the most experience. And then the third theme that they tried to hinge on was that it was important for them to maintain consistency or continuity. They also talked about his incorruptible nature, and his compassion, his empathy, or his decency was something that they talked a lot about. When you go to Kennedy Jupong, it was about change, it was about jobs, and it was about the fact that he's somebody who could appeal to people outside the party and win. Kwabena Jupong, as you rightly said, talked mostly about returning to the foundations of the party and embodying the values and the spirit of the party.
Okay.
Dr. Ejuchum staked his claim on education and reform. And then we have Brian Champong, yes, who talked about the fact that he would be able
discipline.
to... Yes, you bring discipline.
Prof,
we need to go.
Sorry to cut in. We've got to take a message from, that is Honorable Kennedy Japong. He's been speaking to the media. Let's take that.
Right.
Okay.
But at appropriate time, you see how things unfold. Don't worry. God will take care of you. God will take care of you. He knows today was going to come. We didn't know. But God that created us knew today would definitely come to pass. We have experienced that in 2023. So today is no different. So I'm begging you, stay calm. There's a lot of food. Go in there, eat. We have champagne, wine, beer. Eat what you can eat. And let's see what tomorrow has for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. No. Right, so that was Kennedy Japan, contestant. That is number one, I beg your pardon, on the ballot for this particular presidential primaries of the NPP. And you heard him there say that, do not worry, God will take care of you. God will take care of his own. And just go and eat. So I'm sure he was talking to the delegates and everybody there. They'll go and eat. There's a lot of food there. And I'm sure by now he knows that he's not winning. Right, so that's my colleague Nana Kwesi is there and will still bring us some of the developments from his office. Right, so Prof, yes. We're making a point about the aspirants, and maybe you can have a take on listening to Kennedy Japan.
Yes, so I'll complete that, right, and then we'll take, So the last person was Brian Champon, who staked his claim on discipline. And also the need for change or somebody new, and bringing people together. So I think if you look at all the messages, Dr. Bawumia was quite disciplined. He was very civil. In fact, we did some research which showed that he was the most civil, decent in his rhetoric or his language. And we put that out there. And so I don't think that it will be difficult for him to bring the rest of the candidates together because of the kind of campaign that he prosecuted. It was a very decent campaign. It was a very dignified one. He focused on the message, and he focused a lot on the need for the party to come together and then take care of the grassroots. Of course, it got a bit acrimonious from the other side, right. Especially on the Kennedy campaign. And I think to an extent, Brian Champon, who really accused him for leading the party to the loss. He put a lot of the blame on him. I think the only person who was a bit complimentary was Kwabena Japan in his interviews about Dr. Bawumia. Right. So I think moving forward, as far as Dr. Bawumia is concerned, I don't think it will be difficult for him to bring the rest of them on board. For the rest of the candidates, I think this is also a time for them to reassess their positions. And Kennedy Japan just spoke. He has taken the outcome of the election in good faith. He seems to have added a tinge of humor to it. And maybe it shows that he's ready to come on board. He's ready to come and play a part. But I think moving forward, that's what a lot of people will be looking at. Usually, if the leading candidate prosecuted a campaign which was very divisive, then it makes it very difficult for others to come together. I think the way and nature in which Dr. Bawumia went about the campaign, it shouldn't be too difficult to get others to come on board. Yes, I mean, primaries have that tendency to be very acrimonious, but politicians, as they say, have permanent interests and not permanent friends. If you watch elections from across the world, you look at Obama and Clinton, you look at John McCain in the Republican primaries. I think one of the things you realize about politicians is that they easily come together after an election. They will just tell you that, oh, it was just for its politics, its primaries. And after that, they come back together. Other times, too, some people break away. You know, and we've seen that in the history of this country, from Dr. Obeda Samoa breaking away. We've seen Nana Konedu breaking away. We've seen Alan Chairman Ting also breaking away. And some people have also said that maybe Kennedy Ejipong would also
break away.
form his own political party. I don't know.
Okay.
But and so I think this is what people are going to be observing moving forward as after this particular
for
primary.
the NPP, right?
Yeah.
So earlier you saw visuals from the Electoral Commission's headquarters, and they're putting everything together in a bit to do what we are all waiting for. But my colleague Dominic Ansapra reports that according to Nana B, says that the only outstanding region is the Ashanti region. In 30 minutes, the EC has assured that they'll be giving the final results and declare that. So do take note of that. In a few minutes, we'll be having that. Let me come to Kwesi Efriye. Kwesi, have you heard from Kennedy Japon? He's been very calm all through the day when he went to cast his votes earlier. It was just, as we showed, the moments where he got back to the office and there was some kind of, I don't know what to tell, it's celebration.
That was before the closing of the poll.
Closing of the polls at his office. Looking at him, looking at his demeanor and how he's gone about things.
So let me start it this way. I didn't get the early part because of the sound.
Right.
The early part of his, whether it was a concession statement or whatever it really was. But eventually, we heard him say people should go and enjoy or go and eat, and God will take care of them. That's, for me, not too much of a good statement. And not too much of somebody who wholeheartedly accepts defeat.
He said, "Do not worry, God will take care of us."
Yes,
I mean,
yes,
for that,
yes.
they should.
So prophecy, that again, communicators or psychologists or people would try to find interpretations to it. That if I am just to do a layman's interpretation into what Honorable Kennedy Japon has done, it would look like, well, I wanted to come and take care of you. I wanted to come and make proper provisions for you. The other candidates didn't mean that well for you. And so once I didn't get the nod, and in this scenario, I'm not sure anybody can talk about Reagan, like had been speculated before the polls, before today. In about a month or 2 or 3 months or a year ago, there's been expectations, anticipations, and so on and so forth. But today, because of the way the process went, even if there was, it would be on the low side. So you can't do anything but to accept the results, and they all committed to accepting the result. But if you come back from a defeat, that you necessarily have to accept the results and openly declare that, yes, this is what went on.
Right.
And your follow-up statement is, God will take care of you in the political party where you belong, where we want to hear words like, don't worry, we are going to support the leader or the winner to wrestle power. Look at how NDC is performing currently. And there are people who are going ahead to even say that if Mahama continues in the third term, it will be difficult for the NPP. And that's how the discussions around a third term agenda and so on and so forth are all coming up.
Yeah.
It is a time that everybody is expecting that beyond this process, all the 5 candidates and the national leadership of the party will come together, think and strategize. So if you want to put up the attitude of, it's like, Charlie.
Well,
I didn't get that well.
Did you deduce that from what he said?
For me, I didn't get that well.
Yeah.
To say
that there was a need.
It's not,
I mean, obviously, to be fair to the footage we saw, we couldn't get the earlier sound there.
Yeah.
Right.
But Kwesi says he expected to hear something like, okay, I've lost, that's fine, but the greater good is for the NPP. And so whoever will win, I'll support the person. What was that going to do for the supporters and the party people?
Yeah, of course I get where he's coming from, because this has not been traditionally what most people who lost elections will say or will do. When you look at concession speeches, there's a certain structure to it. And we have examples. There's John Mohammed's concession speech in 2016. There's Dr. Baumuya's concession
there's a
speech.
trend.
Right.
Yes, there's Hillary Clinton's concession speech when she lost to Donald Trump. And there is also Kamala Harris's concession speech when she lost to Donald Trump as well. Normally, in speeches like this, they would begin by thanking their supporters. They will begin by appreciating the people who have been loyal to them and being overly gracious to them for coming on this journey, because obviously they've sacrificed a lot in order to be with the candidate. They also thank their partners or their spouses for the work that they've done,
Right.
and they will acknowledge their contribution. And then also there's a religious part where they thank God as well. Then they will go ahead and offer their congratulations to the winning candidate, and most of the time pledge their support to this particular candidate. They might use the opportunity to reaffirm their values, to reaffirm their beliefs and why they decided to put themselves up for president. But they'll then use the chance to say, nevertheless, I mean, this is the outcome. They will make a clear statement of acceptance of the outcome of the election in order to calm nerves, but also pivot to the future. And the future could come in different terms. They would declare their unequivocal support to the new candidate, to the selected candidate, and then they will talk about working together for the future, and then maybe say one or two things and close. So when we look at this, it did not really follow that pattern, but I think there was a certain religious or spiritual undertones to it. He said God will take care of them, or something like that. Yeah, so that was there. But we didn't see him come out name calling people, acknowledging. This is where you see the people behind the campaign who worked hard, names that you didn't know. He would call them by name and then thank them. We didn't see that kind of thing. The tone was a bit detached, I would say so.
It was detached.
Detached, and I believe that's what he was
exactly
trying to
the point I was trying to make.
to say.
Yeah.
Right.
Because for me,
please go ahead.
the posture.
I'm done. Yeah.
The posture is more of somebody who feels kind of entitled for me. That, well, again, like I said early on, I wanted to solve your problems for you. And so if you are not giving me the opportunity, and this is a clear statement that you don't want me to solve the problems for you, then God will help you.
Anyway, maybe he'll give a proper speech later. That's what was.
So it's more important for him and the party, and like Prof said early on, that you are still going through a reformative process.
Right.
So with all the reasons for which they lost.
Okay. Because we've got to connect with Vanessa Edotumbo. She is at the headquarters of the Electoral Commission. Vanessa, share with us what's happening there.
So currently I'm at the EC headquarters. Yeah, so currently I'm at the EC headquarters, and so far Dr. Baumia is leading with 90,943 votes, and Kennedy Japan 37,951, Brian Champon 31,661, and then Edichum has 1,101, and then Kwabena J Japan is having 342. So I understand that currently the Ashanti region result is in, and then they should be updated soon. But now I have with me Haruna Mohammed. He is the Deputy General Secretary for the New Patriotic Party. He's been here to observe the process, so we have a quick interview with him. Well, Haruna, welcome to Metro TV. Are you satisfied with how the EC is handling the process so far?
Very much satisfied with how the EC is conducting itself in terms of the process. It's just the time that we're expecting to get the declarations done and collated for us to begin the collation process or the declaration process at the party headquarters. We gave ourselves between the hours of 3 p.m. and now it's getting close to 8 p.m. and we are yet to finalize. Ashanti has just come in and it has portrayed the results that we are all waiting for. So they have done very well, very, very well.
Do you believe that the figures declared so far is what actually happened on the ground?
There is no any ambiguity in it. The agency have signed onto all the figures that have arrived here. all the figures have not been contested at the coalition room at the EC headquarters where we are currently having this discussion. So it tells you that it's a true reflection of what happened from the various regions and constituencies as we are seeing today.
Well, what is your message to your supporters as we await the final declaration at the party headquarters?
What I have for our supporters is that competition has ended. It's like with cooperation. All of us, we need to come together and fight election 2028 with a new flag bearer that has been elected for the New Patriotic Party.
Thank you so much. So we will still meet at the NPP headquarters, right? And we will speak to Issa Husseini. He is a rep for Dr. Baumia, and so far with the results that we have, Dr. Baumia is leading with 110,643, whilst Kennedy Japan 46,544. So obviously, even though not officially declared, Dr. Baumia has won the race. And so we will speak to Issa Husseini. He is a rep for Dr. Baumia. So are you satisfied with the transparency of the results being received so far?
I think so. It's not just the results, it's a whole process. From when we pick nominations to filing to the electioneering process and all of that. Although along the line there were excesses, everybody will admit. But I think that I'm happy today because I see this as a big victory for the New Patriotic Party. We've had an elections today and the whole country is quiet. I have not heard of any major incident anyway across the country, and I think that it's a big plus for the party. We've shown once again our democratic credentials, and it just shows that, look, our party, despite what happened in the last elections, we're still alive and kicking. Yeah.
Now, what measures are in place to resolve disputes if figures are contested in any region?
I don't think there are even any basis for figures to be contested. Already I'm hearing that Kennedy is giving a concession speech. I'm not too sure about Brian, but we are here as agents working together. Nobody's raised any major issue. And beyond this place, when we have signed the final pink sheet, I don't expect anybody to come out with any issues concerning the whole process. I think it's been very transparent. It's been cordial. We recognize ourselves as a family. And that's very important. We are family. This is an internal election, so I don't think that anybody is going to contest the results when we leave here.
Now, how confident are you that EC's handling of the process has been on point?
I think that if people were not happy, they would have shown it one way or the other. I voted in my constituency. I went around a couple of constituencies before coming here. And everywhere I went, it was very peaceful. The only challenge I had was that in the morning, the queues were building up. But over time, I had a processes started going much faster. And so people voted peacefully and went home. I mean, no major incidents recorded anywhere. All parties, I'm sure, are happy. We've already had concession speech. And so we're going back to our party headquarters to have the rest of the ceremonies for today. And then the New Patriotic Party is still alive. The elephant is still alive. And the elephant contains everything. And so there's space for every one of us. It's just such a huge and a very happy day for every member of the New Patriotic Party. And I think that we should celebrate. It's Dr. Mahmoud Bamia's victory. That's right. But I'm sure he is sharing it with every member and sympathizer of the New Patriotic Party.
So what will be your message to supporters of different candidates?
My message is that the New Patriotic Party is still alive. We should recognize that this is a family contest. The contest is over. The next one is our big contest in 2028. Whatever is going to happen internally is to put our party in a better state to contest and win elections in 2028. So let's put this behind us. Let's forge ahead as a big family and get ready for elections 2028.
Do you think you have a better reconciliation process after this?
I think that me being hearing, I have not heard what Honorable Kennedy said, but the fact that he's given a concession speech, it didn't happen in 2023. It didn't happen. The fact that he's considered even before the final, it's a huge feather in our cap, and I'm sure Brian will follow state. The other two can. I'll say Duchume and Kwabra, AJ Japan will follow suit, and then we'll come back together as a party, and that's for me the most important thing.
Thank you so much. That was Isaf Husseini. He's a rep for Dr. Baumia right here at the Electoral Commission headquarters. If the final results are in, Dr. Baumia is leading with 110,000 votes, 110,643 on the screen, and then Kennedy Japan 46,554. Brian Champon 36,303, and Educhum 1,999, and then Kwabena Eje Japan 402. Yes, so the total vote cast is 196,462. Total valid vote cast is 195,901, and then rejected ballot is 501. Yes, at the EC headquarters, rejected ballots actually is 561. Yeah, so we're still at the Electoral Commission headquarters. These are the figures we have. And so they'll be heading straight to the NPP headquarters for the declaration.
And she shared with us what's being shown there. Now we have all the 10 regions. And as she mentioned, 110,643 for Dr. Mahamudu Baumia, 46,554 for Ken Ejapong, and 36,303 for Dr. Brian Echampon, 1,999 for, that is Dr. Yao Osei Educhum, and then 402 for Engineer Kwabena Eje Ejapong. So the total valid vote cast was 195,901. So in just a few minutes, we would have the announcement being given by the Electoral Commission, and then the party would also take over from there. Because if we had Vanessa from the EC's headquarters, we heard from the Deputy General Secretary of the party, and also a rep for Dr. Baumia in the EC's room there.
I think, like we have said before, it's been smooth so far, and coalition, even from the individual camps,
right?
The same way Isaf Husseini was just talking about that. This is the first time Honorable Kennedy Ejapong has actually acknowledged defeat. And like we were saying, we didn't get to hear the initial part of his statement, but even though I'm worried about the content of his speech, it is still an important step, because in 2023, we didn't see the concession of this sort. And so once it's been done, it's still an important step towards. My concern is about the mobilization, the bringing back together the interest, whipping up the interest, whipping up the motivation of the grassroots.
Would it be difficult?
I think there is enough time. Even if it will be difficult, there is enough time. It was a wise decision to have gone through the primaries early enough. So there is technically 3 years. We are in January, so you still can count 2026 as part of it. So technically 3 years to reorganize face of the party and come back to face. Mind you, NDC has put itself together. And this morning I was talking to you about the fact that even in their technical pursuits,
right,
in 2016 and 2020, things we didn't see, we saw them in 2024, and they have taken even a keen interest beyond their own doors to come and look at somebody's primaries,
yes,
and use that in the formulation of their strategies towards 2028 elections. So you have to be mindful that you're not coming back just to meet anybody, but you're coming back to meet the same formidable, even probably a better formidable institution towards the 2028 elections than you did before in 2024. So whether it will be difficult or it will be easy, what you need to do is to make good use of the time period you have ahead of NDC's choice of a candidate.
Right. Prof, so that's what I'm going to bring you in. So you had the results as we have it, with the Ashanti region now coming in 110,000. Is there anything surprising about this election results for the NPP?
Well, I think one of the biggest surprises would be the performance of Dr. Brian Echampong.
Okay.
Because if you look at it, he did beat Kennedy Japan in certain regions, Volta region, Eastern region, Savannah, Upper West region. Right. Yes, he performed creditably better than Kennedy Japan there. Kennedy bested him in Western and then in Central. And so I think one of the biggest storylines out of this election would be the performance
of Barney Champon.
Of Barney Champon, otherwise known as a lesser known candidate, or at least, somebody who was not really tipped to perform that well, but he's shown a very, he's had a very strong showing. And that would be one of the big storylines. The other big storyline would be the performance of Kennedy Japan. I think that a lot of people had bailed him as a grassroots person. There was an expectation that in Ashanti region, that was where he was going to cause some of the biggest damage. We haven't really seen that happen. There were also notions that maybe Bawumia was not going to be too successful in pulling the North together, or the Muslim coalition together as they thought. But that never happened. So I think if you say, is there anything surprising, I think this would be it. In terms of Dr. Bawumia himself, I also think that he has shown that he has broad delegate support, because I think that was one of the big questions for him going into this election, whether his support was going to be narrow or it will be broad-based. With this particular election, it has shown that he has some form of multi-dimensional support within the party.
So the figures have shot Dr. Barney Champon up in terms of his visibility in the party, because as you're saying, not much of this was expected. And then for Kennedy Japan, it's rather taking him down, thinking that it would have been more for him. Does that shoot, in case there's an election with these two, does that shoot Dr. Barney Champon down ahead of Kennedy Japan, looking at the figures today?
I think overall, though, Kennedy is probably going to outperform him in terms of the percentage. But let's wait.
Oh, no, of course. Kennedy is polled more votes than him in this particular one.
Okay.
But I'm talking about the fact that many were hoping that Ken would do better in terms of the figures than what he has had.
Right.
And then for Dr. Barney Champon,
the expectations were low.
Yes, the expectations were lower than what he has had.
Right.
So you get the dynamics I'm looking at, that we weren't expecting so much of Barney Champon, but he's taking it up. And we're expecting so much for Kennedy Japan, and it's rather didn't meet that expectation.
Right.
So does that shoot Dr. Brian as someone that the party, or he could look at this and say, you know what, I think I've done well, I'm going to contest again, maybe in the next few years?
Right, I get what you mean. In terms of the image, his stature, his positioning within the party. Of course, it does him a world of good, because he can go out there and make a claim about the fact that, yes, he actually has a certain stake within the party, or at least has a certain kind of hold among certain constituents within the party. And Kennedy could say the same, but not as strongly as if the race was very, very close. Because if the race was really, really close, let's say it went to a second round, or it was just a nail biter, when it happens that way, the losing candidate can always use that as a bargaining chip in terms of what it would take for him to come on board. Also, maybe in terms of a probable vice presidential position. That didn't happen for Ken. For Brian, I think he has done his image and his stature within the party a world of good. Maybe some would say he can go ahead and build on that in the future. In fact, some have actually said that his eyes were not set on this particular
particular one,
and that he
was tested the waters for this one.
Exactly, he has a long drawn game going on. But whatever it was, I think that he has done himself some good by this particular performance. But I also believe that elections happen in seasons.
Okay.
Joshua Alabi gave John Mahama quite a good run when he contested. People were expecting maybe Dufour or someone like that to come up very strongly, but it was Alabi. I remember after that NDC primary, he was a very big talking point, and people were really impressed with the performance that he put up. But after that, he joined the team. Guzi Tano, all of them who competed against Mahama came on board. They supported him, and we know what has happened now. So it really depends on what the future holds in the season. You know, in politics, times and season counts a lot, and the situation may be different from another time. We know people who have contested the MPP primary in the past. Where are they today? You know, Ada anymore, and many others. I mean, they are not even showing up. So every season and what the dynamics are, other new people may come up. It is not automatic, you know, that, I mean, he's going to be in the front line in the next campaign season. But at least as far as this particular race is concerned, he has shown that he's a good campaigner. He has shown that he has the resources. He has shown that he has the wherewithal, the kind of stamina that it takes to run a national campaign.
Okay.
Because going across the length and breadth of this country, you definitely need some form of energy and some form of financial resources to do that, and he's shown that he can do that when it matters.
Because it's very interesting, the dynamic that Prof has mentioned in terms of times and season. It could get to maybe the next 4 years, another person may pop up from the party, and as we're saying, oh, Brian has done well, maybe he's not looking at this one, looking at the next one. Someone may come from somewhere, and all of a sudden, it could be that person also.
It's politics, and these things happen. It's depending on the dynamics over the next years. And usually when you come into power too, and these things are not new, like we are saying. In fact, Brian even himself came in to the context very late.
Yeah.
Very, very late. And that's how come for me, I agree that he has performed creditably well, looking at the time he came in and the force he brought in and the percentage or the numbers he's been able to pull. In some parts of the north, some parts of the Volta region, he was actually beating Dr. Baumia, some of the constituencies. And I think that it's easy for any candidate at all to pop up. There are people that the politicians and the academicians track. So in NDC currently, there are people whose names come up. When you see Musa Dankwe's poll, you see Okujeto somewhere. But people would analyze his age and say, oh, we are saving him for the next 8 years or 4 years or 10 years. You would see Honorable Haruna Idrisu and so on and so forth. In the NPP, you would see people mentioning Samia Oku, people mentioning sometimes Kojo Ponkrom and so on and so forth. But before you realize, somebody has gotten a certain appointment, propelled him, gone around, and then they are showing up very strongly like Honorable Brian Echampon has done. What may be an advantage to him, I think, will be the expanded electoral college now. And he being able to campaign around the over 260 constituencies means that he has reached out. And in this time, they were not campaigning only to executives from polling station or area or constituency. They were campaigning to former executives. So people within the MPP circles who get the opportunity to pay their dues or to vote, they campaign to all of them, which means that the bucket will contain largely these people moving forward. So it will be an advantage to him, I think, personally.
Right, and looking at today, we've talked about the zeros and the ones, especially for candidate number 4 and candidate number 5. Candidate number 4 and candidate number 5. What dynamics did they add to this particular election? I'm talking about Dr. Yose Educhum and also Engineer Kwabena Ejapon.
Well, when you look at Dr. Educhum, and in fact, Kwabena Ejapon, both of them, there are many people who thought they probably shouldn't have contested, especially for Kwabena Ejapon because he was a front-line person, a senior figure within the Baumia campaign. People really, it was a bit jarring for a lot of people why he would go out there and compete against him. Dr. Duchum, he's very well respected for what he's done within the STEM space, within the education space. To be honest with you, there are many people who thought he should have held his guns and that if he did that, he would probably have made a very strong case for himself as a potential vice president if he didn't necessarily go out there to compete against his former boss or former VP. And some
Okay.
of it...
Right.
Yeah.
Prof, sorry, the
Yeah,
EC
no, that's
chairperson
okay.
is speaking to the media. Let's take that.
They are district officers in the field and all our field staff for an excellent work done. I think throughout the election, we hardly had any incidents, and this goes to attest to the high level of professionalism they exhibited, during this exercise. Indeed, we were provided with guidelines that were developed by the MPP with input from the Ghana Police Service and the Electoral Commission. And the key, the standard was to follow the guidelines to the letter. And I think this is what has resulted in this smooth and seamless incident-free exercise. So, we'd like to congratulate our staff, our regional staff, directors, and our district officers in the field for an excellent work done. In addition to that, we'd like to also congratulate our staff at the national level. They've been here for hours, and so have you. Going through, the sheets, the result sheets that have come from the region meticulously. And it's culminated in the national summary sheet that they are going now to present at the headquarters of the political party. So we'd like to thank our media partners. You never fail us. Thank you for your support. Thank you for walking this course with us, your patience and everything. And we look forward to working with you in the course of the year. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, and so...
All right, so that was the EC chairperson, Madam Jean Mensah, speaking to the media there, just sharing how the process has been all day, and it's been really smooth. Yeah, that's what it has been. So in a bit, we're expecting that she would be telling us the winner for this particular one, and of course, we'll then cross over to the headquarters of the New Patriotic Party to hear from the party. Also, we're making a case about the representations of Dr. Ya Osei Duchum, and also that is Engineer Kwabena J. on the ballot sheet. And what did they add to it? What dynamics came out from their participation in this particular election? Prof was making a point before we had to cut in and go here from the EC chair. Prof, so you were telling us that both of them, what did they bring to the table?
Yes, so I think with Kwabena J. what he did was that he is somebody who embodies the spirit of the political party. He's somebody who reminded them of their roots.
So everybody's saying that he actually looks like someone who is supposed to be the flag bearer of the party, but he cannot win. I keep hearing that from our analysts, that a suitable candidate is like Engineer Kwabena J.
But who is a suitable candidate?
Well, they talk about someone who embodies, a president who has, in terms of the policies that he talks about, all of those things. They keep talking about him that, I don't know, but he will not be the one to win, Prof.
Yeah, so I think that a lot of the conversations, I mean, I get where you're coming from, because of his history in the party.
With the party.
Yes, because of his involvement. And because of his acuity when it comes to knowing the DNA of the MPP, knowing the intricacies of the party, where they've come from, what their ideals are, what the authentic ideology is of the party, and the dynamics when it comes to elections, and what they stand for and where they've come from. He's been billed as somebody who could be an ideal national chairman of the party. I think that is some of the conversations that I've heard regarding him. This is a time that they need a party chairman who would really come and pull the party together, because the party structures also need to be very strong. And when the MPP went to their Congress at the stadium in Legon, they changed their rules to make sure that the chairman is the leader of the party at any point in time, not the candidate, which gives a very huge responsibility to the chairman of the party at every point in time. And so it will mean that they will need a very strong hand, a very mature person, somebody with that emotional intelligence, that temperament, that maturity, but also steeped in the conventions of the rules and the conventions of the party.
Of the party.
Yes, and I do think that Mr. Kwabena Yopon definitely is somebody who can do that job well. I mean, that's not to say he can be a good president. He definitely qualifies to be a great president to every extent.
Should he go and contest for that?
Well, he just contested for president and he didn't get it.
He didn't get it, so maybe he can go and try chair.
Oh, you mean the party chair?
Yes.
Well, I think he'll make a great party chair as well. So, yeah, I don't know what he has in mind, but the party needs that kind of figure at this point in time.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Dr. Yawose Duchum?
Dr. Duchum, you know, when MPP lost the elections, I think he was one person who was singled out by Ghanaians of different partisan or political persuasions as a very competent guy, very technocratic in nature, very knowledgeable, very visionary, very progressive, and very forward-looking. I think he's applied himself to every task that he's been given. Unfortunately, the presidential race didn't go in his favor, but I do think that he represents a certain ideal or a certain future of the MPP. He's somebody that I definitely think Dr. Bawumia should bring on board because he adds a certain dimension to the party if the party really wants to reform and show itself as a serious-minded party, willing and able to come up with policies and programs that can send this country to the next level. I think he has the brain and the acuity to do that. I mean, he was definitely in the conversations the last time when the vice presidential slot came in. And I don't know if he's positioning himself or he's looking forward to doing that. But he definitely has a bright future for himself.
Right.
Going forward.
You see, the thoughts on those two?
Yeah, I think that the NPP needs to go through rebranding, like we said.
Okay.
They may or may not have started, but some of the things happening today shows that they reckon the problems they had, and so they will be reworking or working at it. And the rebranding process would require an inclusion of somebody like Dr. Duchum. You see, previously we saw statements or we knew the brand of we had the men.
Yes.
But they came to power and then the men became children. And towards the 2024 elections, everybody, in fact, the brand we had the men had now turned into something else.
That was used against the party.
Exactly. If we are going to rebuild the party, people like Dr. Duchum, who has accomplished or done something for himself in a certain field, that people acknowledge him for the field of education. If you keep him on board and you market or you brand the party with him, that of course when we come back, we are going to step up even more on our educational policies and the things we did before. People will be happy. People will know and accept that, yes, for education, when you come on, we can trust the hands of Dr. Edichum. Other people, you can bring them on board. I mean, so it's good for the entire rebranding of the party. But talk of, you want to go?
Yeah, yes, I'm told that we have the speech of Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. So let's take that and then we'll be back shortly.
Right.
It's 5. Oh, no, but I thought it was 3. No, it's 5. No change. Thank you. At this point, it hasn't wait.
So we would like to wait patiently for the final declaration by the Electoral Commission. Final declaration by the Electoral Commission, and that will happen at the party headquarters. But until then, we will still be making follow-ups to ensure that these 41 outstanding slips are to the company. And then we can also put out our own final figures and wait for the final confirmation of the certified results from the Electoral Commission. So at this point, I'd like to thank you all. And if our campaign, His Excellency, would like to say a few words.
Mr. President is speaking.
Inshallah.
1,003 days to go.
Well, let me thank all of you. We've gone through a journey. It's been a fierce battle that we've waged across the country, across all the regions in the country. And we couldn't have gotten here without the support of the team around me. You're only as good as your team in these matters. And I can say, without any fear of contradiction, that I have been blessed with an excellent team that have worked for me. I'd like to thank the National Campaign Coordinator, Oseche Mensah-Bonsu, as well as the campaign manager, Fredo Pare-Ansah, and the campaign team in general. Everybody has contributed so much, and I cannot really thank everybody individually at the moment, but I will have time to thank everybody individually. The MPs, I must say, who have stood by my side have been phenomenal in this contest. They've really supported and they've delivered what they have promised, what they promised to do. I want to thank all the members of parliament who've supported me. I want to thank also the party executives who've helped organize this election, the EC, security, media, and all of that. But, you know, we are standing on the shoulders, very broad shoulders, of former flag bearers of this party. I'm talking about Professor Edu Buahin. I'm talking about J. Kufuor. I'm talking about Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. They have built the party and taken the party this far. And it's really humbling that, you know, we have been elected as a flag bearer of the party to continue the work that they have started. I don't also want to forget the former MPs and so on who helped. I want to thank all of you. God bless you, and we'll have time to talk.
Right, so that was Dr. Mahmoud Bami addressing the media earlier, as he had a message for delegates, for his team, acknowledging all of them for working hard together for him to emerge as the winner. I mean, we are still waiting for the certified results from the EC. So, Prof. Dr. Bawumia, we've talked about the other two who did not do so well in this, talking about Osedu Chum and Engineer Kwabena Japan. In fact, now I've been told that both of them have arrived at the party's headquarters ahead of the any announcement from the party. And so Dominic and Sapra will be joining us very soon to share with us that. But they have arrived at the party's headquarters. So this tells us that we're getting closer to the point where we hear the...
Has the AC done the declaration yet?
No, they haven't. They haven't done the declaration. But we have a fair idea of how the figures have been. So in this delegate system, Prof, and looking at everybody trying to have a say in what happens with the party, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, as we've seen per the numbers here, likely to win, or he has won, unconfirmed, but he has won, as we've seen from the figures. How does it go around again in terms of bringing everybody on board? All the fragmentations, all the cracks, all the groups, all the caucuses in the party.
Right. I think the way that he manages the post-primary process is very crucial, or is very critical, because there are a lot of people who weren't necessarily part of his campaign. There are a lot of people who might be, a lot of disgruntlement among certain sections of the party. And so this is a very good opportunity for him to press the reset button, so to speak, as far as the MPP is concerned. This should be a moment of national reckoning for the MPP. It is one more opportunity to sit back and to reflect and to make a decision on how best they are going to move forward, to accept certain things. I don't think that at this particular point in time they fully accepted the defeat, because sometimes when you listen to their statements and their rhetoric, it looks as though they are still in denial.
Yes. They haven't gotten over it.
Yes. I think this should be a moment of reckoning for them. They should really sit back and use this opportunity to accept what they cannot change, to admit those failures, and to make a certain commitment, to moving forward stronger and better, and to move forward in unity. Whatever happens now is going to be very important for the party. So the winning candidates, for instance, can decide to call Kennedy Japan, not just for cosmetics or for symbolism, but really have a sit-down meeting with him. Do the same with the other candidates, and they really have a sort of reconciliation in the post-primary process in order to carve out what rules they have to play or what strategy there is going to be moving forward. Coalitions, alliances are always very crucial in political parties. If you look at Kenya, for instance, one thing I like about that system is that they don't care recreating anything from scratch. Ruto can get up and do an alliance with Wetangula. He can do an alliance with Musaila Mudavadi. And then, when Odinga was alive, he did the same thing,
surprisingly too.
Yes, with other, it's a period to recalibrate, basically, and see how best to move forward. And I think the post-primary management, reconciliatory, reconstruction process has to be really, really handled very delicately, very conscientiously, and very well in order to have a unified base going forward.
What about the base? So we've talked about Dr. Bawumia and how he can get back to the base and get everybody on. What about the base, the supporters? How do they also look at him like, okay, you are the one leading us into so we are jumping on?
Yeah, I think the fact that he has won alone means that there's still a certain sense of belief in him, even by the base, because the argument was that, he was probably just an establishment candidate, he did not have a wide appeal or a grassroots appeal, but he's done that. He's won in Ashanti, he's won in many constituencies. So I think there is a certain sense that the base still believe in him, but it is not an overwhelming one. It's not 70%, it's not 90-something%. There's still quite a sizable number of those grassroots who probably were disappointed with the Kufuor administration, as the MPP considered themselves that many of their people stayed back at home because of a certain disgruntlement that they had, and because they were not energized to go and vote.
Yeah.
I think these people and these concerns are still very, very much legitimate. Yes, an election has been won, but there is still work to be done to get all of them back on board.
Okay, so we have Engineer Kwabena Japan. So let's listen to his speech also.
I mean, it's an election. So when your message has resonated positively, you leave the rest to the voters. You know, they have the power of choice. So at the end of the day, I've been able to communicate with them. I'm happy. The rest is for them to decide. At the end of the day, it's a party that is the eventual winner. And we are Democrats. The MPP has been responsible, our tradition, for the sustenance of democracy in Ghana, right from 1948. So we belong to a very strong democratic tradition. I'm hoping that all of us will be sportsmanly. At the end of the day, whoever emerges the victor, I'm hoping that it is me, whoever emerges the victor will represent the party well for us and then win the confidence of Ghanaians and the trust of Ghanaians to be able to give us power in 2020.
Right, so this was earlier, Engineer Kwabena Japan saying that whoever emerges the winner, hopefully that is me. That's what he said. We'll be able to put the party together towards the 2028 election. So, so those are live visuals from the NPP's headquarters, and in your shot you see Brian Echampon, Dr. Brian Echampon, arriving at the premises of the party, and lots of
cameras,
lots of cameras on him.
Everybody
right?
wants to.
Yes, and so he's in there. So that's Nana B, Henry Nana Boache, in your shot there, and very soon we'll be hearing what they're saying from the party's headquarters as the candidates arrive there. So let's listen to what Henry Nana Boache is saying.
For Akuapem North, Honorable Lawyer Sami Awuku, acknowledge your presence. Former MP for Laura, National Youth Organizer, Honorable Anthony Abeyi Fakabo, acknowledge your presence. Let me also welcome the leader of the mighty minority, the MP for Efutu, Osahin Alexander Afenyo Markin is also here. MP for Trobu, Honorable Gloria Owusu, acknowledge your presence. Former MP for Ablekumanov, Honorable Akuya Efriye, acknowledge your presence. Yagaba Kubori, former Minister, Youth and Sports, you are welcome to the headquarters. Former MP Suhum, former campaign manager, Honorable Opari Ansa, you are welcome to the headquarters.
The Electoral Commission will join us very soon. Let me also acknowledge our external branches, the executives from our external branches, those who were able to come down to be part of this exercise. I see so many of them from the US, from Germany, from UK, from Canada.
Right, so there you have the national organizer of the New Patriotic Party, Henry Nana Boakye, popularly known as Nana B, acknowledging the presence of all the some of the former members of parliament and some of the personalities at the party's headquarters as they await. He mentioned that the EC will join them very soon for their declaration, and we'll see what will happen from there. Also, Dominic Ansapra is there with the team and bringing us the live visuals from there. This is The Battle is the Lord's coverage of the NPP's presidential primaries. We've done this since morning, 7 a.m. when the counting began, all through to 2 when voting ended. I beg your pardon, voting began and then voting ended at 2 p.m. where sorting and counting also began. We've gone through our correspondents on the ground who've given us the figures. Vanessa de Tumbuatin has been to the EC's headquarters. She shared with us the results from the EC, but we await the certified results as the EC will, declare in a bit. But Bright Nana Kwesi Amening has joined us on the air. I will be speaking to him in a bit on his thoughts about this election for the NPP. Kwesi Free is also still here, and also Professor Echesikan, who is the Dean of School of Journalism and Media Studies at UNIMAC. He's also here with us, and thank you to all of you for being a part of, the program and staying with us here. So, Kwesi, it's been a long day. Mm-hmm. We await the EC's declaration, certified results, but we may have an idea of who has won, and I don't know if Kennedy Japan has arrived yet at the party's headquarters. We haven't received that information yet.
Well, to us, we've seen in pictures, we've seen
Dr. Brian
Echampon walking there. We saw an early video of how do I put him? I don't want to say worry, but I mean Kwabna Ejepon, who had mentioned that whoever wins, hopefully being him, everybody else will support for them to re-Ghana power for 2020 or ahead of the 2028 elections. And so we haven't seen Dr. Educhum, and then we haven't seen Kennedy Ejapon.
Yes.
So we're waiting for the two of them. They come in. What it is that we also have to try and make way for regular programming to go on. So we'll still be marking the time. We've gotten to you, as Desmond has stated early on, a very extensive coverage of this entire election process of the new Patriotic Party. And so you can trust Metro TV when it is current affairs. We bring you up to speed every detail, the nitty-gritty of it. And we've hosted lots of panelists, experts, people who understand the political space, right from when the voting began. And so if it so happens that we are not able to conclude with the speeches for you, obviously, tomorrow, Monday, it's a heated political week. We have confirmations of people who are going to be on our show. I'm sure we'll get Musa Dankwa, we'll get Prophet Walasi, and those who predicted around the 56%. Maybe we'll get back Nigel as well. And let's see how all of this go. But it's been exciting so far. And I think, like everybody is saying, it's been peaceful, it's been smooth, and everybody has comported really themselves. And like I said earlier on, what matters most importantly is not about any individual. It is a political party. Their business is not to sell ice cream. Their business is not to mine salt. The business of the political party is to win political power. And their agenda after this, or after today, and after this declaration, leading the forward, the party chairman and the flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, will be to be able to mobilize the base. And as Prof was talking about early on, to be able to put aside everybody's individualism, even though it will come together. I mean, put it aside and come together for the collective interest of the party. And the collective interest of the party is to win political power in 2028. If you are not able to do that, you have failed. Everything we've done today is, for want of a better word, useless, wasteful. All the resources that you have expended, all the time that you have expended, everything that you've gone through will be very useless and wasteful. And so their business is to win political power, and that is what they have to focus on. So everything in the step of the way, or every step of the way, everything that they have to do, right from getting back to, and Prof was making a very cogent point for me that I am particularly interested in.
Okay.
For the leadership of the party, the rank and file of the party, to begin to appreciate that they lost power to the NDC by a whopping number.
Okay.
A whopping number of votes. So Ghanaians show you how they detest you, how they are angry with you, how disappointed they are in your governance by the way they vote. You won't see Ghanaians regularly going on an impeachment drive. You won't see Ghanaians regularly going on demonstration against a certain style of governance. You won't see Ghanaians regularly, even vehemently opposing on radio or on TV how you are governing. But they wait for the 4 years, they get to the ballot and express their franchise through the ballot paper. So the NPP has to accept. And
that they've got work to do.
They've got work to do, and calm down.
Right.
And be humble. And work on the base before they work on the floating voters.
Before they work on that. So, as I mentioned, Bright Amenin is also here. Bright, hi, how you doing?
I'm okay. I mean, we've been trotting.
Yeah, of course.
I was about to say globe trotting, but I realized it's within Ghana, so we've been trotting.
Yes. We've been looking forward to this day to see who the NPP will choose as the party's flag bearer. You've engaged Miracles, you've engaged a number of people, and all that's been said. Your assessment of today and the look from the figures that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is the flag bearer elect.
Honestly, I don't know the plans for the MPP. Probably in their next flag bearership race. Maybe senior can make sense of what I'm trying to say. But if the next time they can select just 2 people, you know, to stand for that position.
You're saying that the other there were 5 people?
Maybe 3.
What, the other 2 were not competitive enough?
Very less impact.
That's what they want to do. So
Less impact.
it's theirs to do that.
But the funny thing, no, it's not funny. But the interesting thing is, have we seen the visuals from, or have we seen what's happening at engineer
Yeah, I mean, we took a speech from him earlier as he addressed.
Not necessarily a speech. I mean, the euphoria at his office.
There's a
DJ outside the office playing music and.
Oh, along the ring road.
Yeah, I mean it's.
Okay, then
I don't know.
a celebration for the party.
I think that first of all, for your very first point, for the politics of the country, the politics of the NPP, the democracy to thrive, it's okay to allow. I mean, we've gone through. Well, let me not quote the chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Honorable Mr. Esidu Nketia. We've gone through 17 candidates in 2007 at Legon Hills.
Right.
17 candidates.
So you see in the shot,
Kennedy Japan is there now.
So Kennedy Japan is there now
Natoshi
with
is there.
Brian Echampon. You see Engineer Kwabena Japan there, and
Natoshi had said he had prayed, asked her God, or she had prayed, asked her God, done a lot of inquisition, and her God had told her that it was Ken who was going to win. People had predicted that if Ken had won, she was going to be the running mate, and so that was her motivation anyway.
Okay.
But I mean, we can come back to.
I see Henry Cote, just the seat behind the aspirants there. I see Napo. Napo is in the far left.
I mean,
yes, he's there.
Talk of Napo, and already people are slaughtering him, telling him not to return as a running mate.
It is most likely.
Brian is all over the place on social media. I mean, if you go out there, Brian is like the people's choice right now. I feel like Brian is giving the MPP a fresh, like a new chance.
I was if you were going to say something.
So
he said
you were going to say something about
Napo. We heard
I'm saying that it's all of them are learning their lessons. All of them are learning what they have to do. I have said from the beginning of this conversation that the most important point would be for the MPP to realize where they are and go through a very transformative process.
Right.
Today's election is an evidence of the fact that they may be going through the transformation process, how they expanded the electoral college, how they have allowed people to come in to vote, and the process and the procedures and the peaceful nature of the elections show that maybe they are realizing, and that's the point I was making now, how disappointed Ghanaians were in them, and how they have shown them through the ballot, not the barrel, not the gun, but through the ballot, that we are disappointed in you, and so come back to do things this way. And so the process they have to go through. So how they bring back people, how they connect with people, how they work with people, how they bring themselves back together will not necessarily be because I contested, or because Kwabena Japan contested, or because it is Napo. But I mean, between now and Bawumia chooses a vice.
Do you know that?
I actually don't know what conversation Dr. Benechapon is having with Engineer Kwabena.
I mean, that's
no, but that's the early statement I was going to make.
Right.
I don't know if Prof you saw this, but in the run up to the elections,
so he's saying something to Ken.
The campaigns.
So they're having a conversation.
Okay. Right. The campaigns of Kwabena Japan suggested that even if I am not going to win, I will not be too happy if Ken wins. I don't know if you saw that. The kind of statements Kwabena Japan was making, the roots of the party, the base of the party, the formation of the party, right from UP tradition and who was into the UP tradition and the Dumbu and so on and so forth, coming up to now, and where each of them is coming from, who is a traditional member of the party. As of 1996, Kennedy Japan wasn't part of the party, and so on and so forth. And so he became almost like a defender to Dr. Bawumia.
Yes.
And so he will be happy that even though he hasn't won, that's what I'm.
But do you also believe that there's an assertion that probably Brian and Engineer Kwabena Japan were just plotted there to mar the votes or the potential of Kennedy Japan?
Brian meant business.
Now we know.
Brian has spent a lot of money to think that he came on the premise of any other candidate. I don't know, but I think Brian meant to. He only came in late.
But did he think he would win, or it was only to cement his name for a particular position going forward?
I've been to Brian's office to interview him. I've seen some people and I've seen the coordination in his campaign, and I've seen how he was able to get some top guns to defect to his side, and there wasn't any way he was joking. No, not at all.
Interesting.
Prof, you were saying yes to what Kusifri was saying earlier?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you listen to the very last or one of the very last interviews that he had, it was pretty clear that he was not a very big fan of a certain type of politics. He berated him for some of the language that he used. He berated him for some of the untruths that were said. He called him out, on so many things, and it was pretty clear that for him, he was not a big fan of that kind of politics, the politics of division, the politics of incivility, the politics of exaggerations, the politics of aberration, and a lot of drama. It was clear that Mr. Japon Kwabna was not a very big fan of that kind of politics, and he did not hold back. So I do think that it looked as though Kwabna Japon was more comfortable with Dr. Baumia.
Okay.
Even though he's also in the same race, I think this is a candidate that he would be more comfortable working with, compared to Kennedy Japan. Yes. So that match was pretty clear. I don't know what would have happened if it went the other way around, if Kennedy Japan had also won.
Okay.
Then I don't know what the dynamic would be. But of course, maybe naturally as a party person he would support, but it might not be as deep as if it was the candidate that he felt comfortable with.
Right. So in your choice, you see Kennedy Japan and Dr. Brian Champa in a hearty chat, laughing and all that. So it's like it's not too deep like that, as many will see that. But
one question I wanted to ask Prof is about the fact that people regularly liken the Ghanaian elections, and especially what happens in the to the USA. I mean, whatever happens in the NDC, NPP, rounding up to the national elections, and the dynamics over the last few years, it hasn't been exactly, maybe in the last election, I don't know. You are the experts when it comes to these things. But people felt that because Trump had the way, and people describe him as a disruptor and all of that, we're going to have Ken. Was it going to have antecedents, historical antecedents and so on, going to have anything to do with this? Did you see that before, or moving forward, anything of that sort?
No, it's a very interesting proposition because, all across the world, there were new things happening, new waves happening in our democracies. And one of the major waves that was happening was the fact that we're beginning to see more and more candidates like Donald Trump, more nationalist-oriented candidates, more nativist, more abrasive, more erratic, of course, more disruptive candidates who were unhinged in their political style, more combative, in their political style and in their political approach. People who were quote-unquote outsiders, and who were mavericks, so to speak, who were not afraid to speak against their own political party, people who were not afraid to go against their own system. There had been a new wave of that. Trump was one. It happened in Pakistan. It happened in Italy. Even in France, we had Emmanuel Macron, who came for the first time with no established party coming up. And in Senegal, for instance, we had a very young person also come up to win. And so you look at Kennedy, and he kind of fits that same model. He kind of fits that same frame. And there were many people also, even outside the MPP, who he appealed to. They kind of loved his abrasiveness, they loved his style. And they said, well,
if you bring him, we are going to vote for you.
Yes, somebody who is different. But of course, we've not done But in the polling, in Musa Donko's polling, it still showed that Baumia performed more strongly against the NDC candidates than Kennedy Japan, no matter who they were.
So it wasn't going to be. It was a question I was going to put up earlier. That as you are speaking now, what I'm picking is that it wasn't going to be, as has been speculated or has been used as a campaign message by members of the Kennedy Japan team, that Ghanaians are calling on a disruptor. Ghanaians are calling on a maverick like Kennedy Japan. And so if you want the system to change from the status quo, then you need to put Kennedy Japan out so that all of us can follow you. It wasn't going to be that per the data.
Yeah, so per the data, it didn't look like that was going to happen, even if he came. So it's just a caution.
But they made a lot of noise with that.
Yes, it's a campaign. I mean, it's a primary and it's a competition, and people are going to go, everybody's going to go with their strength. They're not going to come and say they will lose. They definitely thought they had something genuine going on. Don't forget that there is a certain sense that Baumia was associated with Nanadu, and so they felt that Kennedy would have been a clean break from it.
Okay.
But maybe he didn't help himself well, also by some of the statements, which maybe turned off a section of the delegates, for instance. If you look at the very last there was this last presentation that he did, production that he did, where he came into, there was an outburst that he did.
So people felt, he hasn't changed. He has only been managed as a candidate.
Can I ask them though a question? I know, Dr. Chi, you are big on communication. Political communication, you are big on it. I'm just trying to understand the type of communication probably they should adopt going forward. Because, during their campaign for their internal flag bearership race, has been a lot of dangerous comments. Right.
Former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has arrived at the NPP's headquarters. So there you see him to a rousing welcome from the NPP supporters there. So Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo arrives at the NPP's headquarters. So this just tells us that in a few minutes we should have the event, if I can put it that way, beginning from the party's headquarters. As mentioned earlier by Nana B, that they're waiting on the Electoral Commission to arrive, and then they can begin with that. So Nana Akufo-Addo has arrived at the party's headquarters. And I've always, you finished with your question to Prof about the kind of communication that the party would have to adopt going forward. And I would add that of the president, the former president. He was at the pact signing, and he seems to be involved in whatever is happening with the party as an older citizen of the party, as the Council of Elders of the party.
Senior man.
Yes, senior man in the party, Prof. Yes. So to Bright's question first.
Yes. No.
The communication bit.
Yeah, but I don't think Bright finished,
No, I was actually asking you about the type of communication you think they should adopt, because they're on their internal flag bearership race. The communication and the skills they've used has been a bit brutal. So probably how would they make people understand that they are reconciling and they are ready to face the bigger picture, which is like the general elections?
Yeah, I think moving forward, they should adopt a more humble, communicative style.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
A more humble.
Humble.
Yes. A more humble, communicative style or communicative approach. Because throughout the internal elections, yes, some of the invectives were against each other, but there were some that you could tell that they would say, we won the elections, we lost because it's just our party people who didn't come out. You don't get a sense that they have come to accept the fact that Ghanaians were really, really mad at them, that things had gotten so bad, and that there was a lot of opposition to the NPP, that they had been rejected. And I think that if they want to appeal to the wider Ghanaian, then they should begin to adopt a more modest and humble rhetoric or tone moving forward. Except, of course, maybe your question was about towards internally among their own candidates. I don't know if that's what.
No, I mean they are done with what the internal politics.
Right.
They should be focusing more on the general elections.
Okay, so that's my point. Yeah, so less arrogance, more humility, more accountability in the kind of rhetoric they give. They should admit in places that they underperformed.
I think they have been admitting. I mean, Bawumia has been admitting almost on every single tour that he's gone on during this campaign. He's been admitting a lot of wrongdoings.
Yes, but they have to. I think they need to go even further. I think they need to go even further because whilst admitting, there are some times that they've been on the defensive, and there are times that I believe that a certain level of accountability, a certain level. I don't think it has been extensive enough. I mean, he did it once, and it was covered by the news media.
Right.
And then after that was that. Like I think that there has to be a certain drive of that message, repetitive, so much so that, Ghanaians accept that it is not just a facade. It is not just politics as usual. Because when they did the admission, a lot of Ghanaians said, well, is it because you are now trying to run for a position or something? And it has to get to that point, what they call authentic communication. It has to get to that point where Ghanaians believe.
Former president currently, Mahama did it.
Yeah.
When he lost power in 2016.
Exactly.
He took his time to mobilize and re-energize the base by appealing to them to appreciate that he was remorseful of the things that didn't go right. Genuinely, before the actual campaign itself began.
Yeah. So it is a cycle, and if I should say this, I did my own research, analyzing people's reactions or rhetoric towards the NPP. And you'd realize that one of the major themes that kept coming up was that they felt the NPP were not remorseful enough. They felt that they hadn't really come around to accepting that they did a lot of bad things or wrong things. And I can remember one particular comment that they made. They said, unless the MPP changes its whole executives and takes out all the old party people and then replace them. There was a very funny comment. Someone even said, oh, they have to detach themselves from Nanado.
Yes.
And all of that. I think Ghanaians want to see a certain conversation, a certain communication, a certain rhetoric that reflects the fact that they understand the depth of pain and hurt and damage that has been done to them, that they appreciate it, that they actually empathize with this, and that they admit one of the mark of a great leader is your ability to admit things and that they are ready to change.
Right.
So, Prof, that leads to my question about President Akufo-Addo being in the mix, because the comments that were made against Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia towards this election was about his involvement in government and all of that. So, as we said earlier, it's collective.
Yeah.
So himself as a vice president and there was a president, Nadu Danko Akufo-Addo. And so if the blame was being shifted to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and then comments like, oh, he wasn't the one in charge, he wasn't the leader, he wasn't that, he just played a role as a reserved player. And then the main captain was Nana Danko Akufo-Addo. And having him around the party from the pact signing, and we've even seen him here. What's the message like? I just want to understand.
Yes, forgive me.
Forgive
me. But before Doug answers that question, Doug, let me add this quick one to what he just asked. Funny enough, there was never a time where we heard Dr. Bawumia say that oh, I wasn't part of this or wasn't part of that. You understand?
Right.
But interestingly, those who were going on interviews, who were from his camp, were the ones who were talking about that Dr. Bawumia wasn't the leader of whatever it is.
Yes.
So even though the message was out there that he wasn't given the chance to work, it wasn't coming from him.
Yes.
It was coming from people who work with him. So do you think it was a strategy to allow people who were with him to actually go out there and channel that message and have him just say, okay, I'm saying sorry, but then let my other people just go and say that I wasn't the one who was in charge of all of this?
Yeah, but I think where it came from.
Forgive me,
was,
but kindly answer his first thing. Can I
I'm tying the two.
They're connected.
They're
right?
connected.
So,
yes. I think where it came from was when he gave that speech at UPSA, and then said he used that metaphor that he was the driver's mate. You know, so I don't think it's just the people around Bawumia. Of course, they latched onto it. But I think to an extent, he had also tried to make that point, you know. And I think Ghanaians didn't take it too kindly at all. People went at him and said, well, you cannot detach yourself
from...
Yeah, because you are VP. You know, personally, I think that it's a very delicate issue. I would advise, if I'm asked, that they move away from that position of denial, you know, to reframe it as responsibility.
Okay.
Yeah. Taking responsibility for your action, ownership of it, instead of being continuously defensive. I don't think defensive communication is going to work at this point. You know, Ghanaians have spoken. I don't think evasion is going to work. If you ask me as a communication person, I think one of the things that you can do effectively is to say, yes, I was part of the government. We got some things right. You know what? We did get some things wrong. And we have learned from that particular experience. You know, I think this would be a better approach moving forward, and that we are ready to change things for the better of the party. And if he can reframe that rhetoric or that particular challenge as one of a party, not as a party that has governed for long, and this is what we have experienced, and this is what we have, you know, going back to rehash the achievements of Nana Addo and all of that. You know, I think it's time for the MPP to sound less like a party that has governed for long and begin to sound more like a party that has learned deeply.
I should think that would be Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia coming in to take his seat ahead of the declaration. And of course, you see, okay, that's
the wife is in white.
Yeah, that's him. He was in a white batakari earlier. He's going to change that into a white long sleeve shirt, and he's making his way to take his seat so that the the whole program can begin. Very interesting. So he's the last person to join the
I have not seen the Edichum yet.
It should be the chairman.
Okay.
Edichum hasn't also been there. I've not seen him yet. It was just three of them: Engineer, Community Japan, Kennedy Japan, and also what's the name?
Edichum went to vote in Bosomchi.
Oh, okay.
It is possible he didn't come
But he
back.
may join on Zoom or something.
Okay.
Yes.
Join on Zoom from here.
Yeah, so
let me ask this.
No, I'll just on the Bosomchi part. Honorable Edichum, the road in your air.
Don't do that.
No, I just want.
Bro.
No, I've been to Bosomchi. The road. Anyway,
let me ask you this. What do you think? I'm still going to base my question on communication because I know how big you are on communication, politics and communication. What do you think really worked for Brian? Because I don't think anybody expected this. Figures. Even though Kwesi has been saying that, I mean, he really worked, invested in the human capital and resources to make sure that his message was being heard and all that. But what exactly worked for him? Look at the figures he's had. Almost close to what Kennedy had.
Right. No, so, I mean, with Dr. Brian Champong, and I'm not as close to his campaign or know him personally, but I think from the outside, from the outside and from analyzing his candidature, analyzing his communication. I think one of the things that worked for him was that he was not tied to the Nana Addo government in the way, although he was a minister and was a central figure, he wasn't tied to it in the way that Bawumia was tied to it, right? That was the first one, and so he didn't have that challenge of being tied to the apron strings of Nana Akufo-Addo. But when you listen to his speeches, you listen to his campaign style and other things, I would say that and I analyze his communication approach, I would place it within what we call the natural communication or authentic communication. I think that he sounded like himself when he was speaking. He sounded like he spoke from the heart. He was always himself when he was speaking. He spoke off the cuff. He spoke less using papers or read. You hardly see Brian reading from a speech. So, and I think that helps to secure credibility. People get to see that you are speaking from your heart. It also communicates a certain frame or aura of authority.
Does it pass for this may be like me jumping the gun, but obviously, let's see. Let me just throw this question on the table. Does it pass for a good running mate? Probably it can be like after the other. Does it pass for good running mates?
Well, that's a question that we're going to have Prof answer later, but let's cross over to the NPP's headquarters now and take the proceedings of what's happening there currently. We'll be back from that.
Presidential primaries held. We thank you, O God, for your grace bestowed upon us. You, by your grace, protected every delegate, over 200,000, from their homes to the polling station and back home safely. Father, we thank you because your word declares in Proverbs 21:31 that horses and chariots are prepared for the day of battle, but victory is of the Lord. Indeed, O God, today we celebrate this victory because it is your victory. We thank you for the victory of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, which is a victory for every aspirant, an ultimate victory for the new patriotic party. We thank you, O God, that as we pray for the declaration of victory ceremony today, that your hands shall be lifted for us, O God, that today shall set the tone for the ultimate declaration of victory for the new patriotic party and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the flag bearer, as the President of the Republic, come January 7, 2029. We pray, O God, that your hands shall be lifted for the new patriotic party, that you shall unite us with a bond that cannot be disintegrated, that you shall lift us from grace to grace, strength to strength, O God, in splendor, that we shall be the preferred party to lead your people. We thank you and we bless you for tonight. In Jesus' name we have prayed. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Intifojo Yedase. Party anthem. Sydney, where are you? DJ. Yeah.
We are the new, patriotic. The elephant is a winning symbol. We shall win, we shall win. Come on. The elephant is a winning symbol. We shall win. Come on, to save Ghana. Young boy, we shall win. To save Ghana. We shall win. To save Ghana. The elephant is a winning symbol. We shall win. We shall win to save Ghana. Oh, the elephant is a winning symbol. We shall win. Come on. Ghana. To save Ghana. Here we go. Joe Biden. Joe boy! Joe boy! Hey! Are you ready? Kukrudu! Can I see you wave your flags like that? Wave it! Wave it! Wave it! There we go! Hey, she! Oh! Hey, she! We don't stop! Oh! Hey, she! Hey, she! Oh! Hey, she! Yeah! We don't! Hey, she! Handkerchiefs! Hey, she! Yeah! Hey, she! Hey, she! Yeah! Hey, she! Rado! Yadamase, God bless you all.
Thank you.
Respect.
Thank you very much, Sydney. Indeed, we are the new patriotic party. The elephant is our winning symbol. We shall win 2028 elections to serve Ghana. Let me welcome the acting national chairman to welcome all of us here to the headquarters. Chairman Dankwa Smith Bute.
Your Excellency Nana Adodankwa Ekufuado, my aspirants, General Secretary, Minority Leader Afano Makin, Dr. Hakman Osu Ajaman, my Council of Elders Chairman, Chairman of the Election Committee and members, police, media men, regional officers present here, MPs and former MPs present, constituency members present, police station members present. I welcome all of you to this very important ceremony. And there, Emma NPP. About why you got 2 years, let me catch them say, from 1992 to date, this is the best election that we have ever had. The election is free, fair. And I can assure you, from today, we don't have Team Kwabena Japan, we don't have Team Baumia, we don't have Team Kennedy, we don't have Team Brian Echampon, and we don't have Team Educhum. We have Team MPP. And there, delegates Akasa, Omakasano, Ubia Nianobio. If you say MPP, yes, some party, you're so many pa. The Maubia to the ones to say, send ya elections, no, ye peace, no. You started peace, no, every and there. And I can assure you that this party will be united better than before. Ms. Ramo, Mama Yamfa Kruya, and there, Nakupon Aya Domina Bay. Yes, so we ye knew Obia and Neko apart from NDC. Power now about 2029, no, examine me so. One more hano, Obia contestants, Obia, who are well, Obia, who are winning. MPP na lusu, MPP na wini. Ato subio minua baomia me manitire nkwa na me peso oti ase se me name regional officers, national officers, constituency officers, polling station officers. Ye be adwumaden ama 2028 ye wini no obey president. Ni emi hia ne se ye be baako. Me mamu nyina akwa aba, nyame hira mo se mo bae, nyame hira mo.
Thank you, Chairman Dankwa Smith Bute. Now, the Presidential Elections Committee, headed by the respected Honorable Joe Sewusu, Mr. Kwabena Abankwa Yabua, Mr. William Yamwa, Madam Rita Talata Asobairi, Her Excellency Barbara Benisa, Honorable Isaac Yaubua Manyako, Mr. Ampofu Edusai, Madam Efua Jejewa, Mr. Evans Nimakon, Haruna Mohammed, Mr. Kwajo Afare, and thank you very much for your work. Now we welcome the chairman for the Presidential Elections Committee.
Your Excellency, Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, former President of the Republic of Ghana, Acting National Chairman, and the Acting National Chairman and the National Executive Committee, our newly elected presidential candidate and flag bearer, other presidential contestants, Honorable Minority Leader and Honorable Members of Parliament present, members of the National Council, members of the Council of Patrons, trustees, distinguished party faithfuls, fellow Kukrudites. You're all warmly welcome. You're all warmly welcome. Today, we mark the successful conclusion of an exciting and defining journey. One undertaken in our collective quest to elect a flag bearer for our great party ahead of the 2028 general elections. On behalf of the Presidential Election Committee, I extend my warmest congratulations to all distinguished contestants, each one of whom campaigned vigorously with courage, commendable discipline, and truly acquitting themselves as formidable gladiators in the democratic arena. Allow me to recognize the unique contributions of each contestant as we bring this historic process to a close. NPP will always remember your respective contributions to the party. I'm referring to Honorable Kenohine Japon, Honorable Brian Echampong, His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, Dr. Yao Osea Duchum, and Engineer Kwabena Eje Japon. It is important to emphasize that in this process, there is neither a victor nor a vanquished. The ultimate winner is a new patriotic party. Nonetheless, history teaches us that in every contest, a special responsibility rests on the shoulders of the winner. To this end, we call on His Omia, not to only celebrate success, but to demonstrate benevolence, embrace all compatriots in the contest, and rally the entire party for the greater battle ahead in the 2028 general elections. I believe that you can do this. The collective resolve and unity of purpose is the surest pathway to achieving our shared ambition to make Ghana great and strong. The committee is deeply grateful for the opportunity to serve our great party. We thank all presidential contestants for their cooperation and maturity throughout the process. Going forward, we recommend the party to continue to consolidate the rules and innovation introduced by Professor Michael Quay during the 2023 presidential primaries, including the Intra-Party Advisory Committee, into a single comprehensive operational guideline. This should continue to serve as a reference framework for all future electoral processes and further strengthen our internal democracy within the party, and by extension, to the nation. We express our profound appreciation to the Inspector General of Police and the police administration, all officers deployed for their professionalism and dedication, which ensured a peaceful and incident-free process nationwide. Our deepest gratitude also goes to the chairperson of the Electoral Commission and her team for their invaluable contribution, technical support, and the successful conduct of this important national political exercise. Above all, we give thanks to the Almighty God for His grace, including the favorable weather conditions experienced across the country. Long live the New Patriotic Party. Long live the Republic of Ghana. Indeed, we are the New Patriotic Party. The elephant remains our enduring and winning symbol of victory. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Honorable Joe Osewusu and your team, for a good work, well executed. Now we will call on the Electoral Commission to give us the final results from the 2026 presidential primaries. The Electoral Commission, you are welcome to the headquarters of the New Patriotic Party. Yeah. Thank you very much, organizer of New Patriotic Party. The New Patriotic Party gave Electoral Commission mandate to supervise the presidential primaries for them. I must say that we must give thanks to the Almighty God for taking us through this exercise. On behalf of the Electoral Commission of Ghana, headed by Mrs. J. Mensah, we are hereby declare the results for the New Patriotic Party presidential primaries. I must give thanks to the Ghana Police Service for giving adequate security to ensure transparent, free, and fair elections. The team here with me, on behalf of the Electoral Commission, to declare these results are, on my right, is Mr. Asante Kisi, Deputy Director, Electoral Services. On my left is Mr. Frederick Tete, Deputy Director, Research and Monitoring. And my name is Samuel Dotokwa, Deputy Director, Electoral Services. 5 people contested the presidential primaries. These are Ken Ohine Japan, Brian Echampon, Mohamed Baumia, Yao Osei Educhum, and Kwabena Ejay Ejapon. 196,462 votes were cast. Out of these votes, 561 were ballots rejected. And here are the results obtained by each of these candidates that I mentioned. Ken Ohine Japan obtained 46,554, representing 23.76%. Brian Echampon obtained 36,303, representing 18.53%. Mohamed Baumia obtained 110,643, representing 56.48%. Yao Osei Educhum obtained 1,999, representing 1.02%. Kwabena Ejay Ejapon had 402 votes, representing 0.21%. The New Patriotic Party constitution indicates that for a candidate to be elected presidential candidate, that person must obtain more than 50% of the valid votes cast. On the basis of this result, Dr. Mohamed Baumia obtained 56.48%. Therefore, Dr. Mohamed Baumia has been duly elected presidential candidate for New Patriotic for 2028 elections. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We now welcome the acting chairman of the party to hand over the flag. We will also welcome the newly elected presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, His Excellency, Dr. Mohamed Baumia. With him, he is accompanied by the wife. This is a special occasion. This is a special event. The national chairman will hand over the flag to our newly elected presidential candidate, Dr. Mohamed Baumia. Let's welcome the newly elected presidential candidate. The flag is handed over to the next president of the Republic, 2029 and beyond. His Excellency, the former Vice President, Dr. Mohamed Baumia. Thank you very much, Excellency. Thank you very much, Excellency. Thank you very much, Excellency. The next President of the Republic. Kumpraku, Japan. In the spirit, Japan, let's welcome Honorable Dr. Brian Champon. Let's welcome Honorable Honorable Dr. Yawajichum to the podium, please. All of you, please. Oh, let's welcome Honorable Kennedy Akompraku of Japan. Dr. Brian Champon. In the spirit of unity, this is the new patriotic party. The elephant is the winning symbol. In order, on the ballot paper, our gallant men here will give brief remarks. And kabom sunkwa yenya ne nan efe. Enti empanifo wo hai abeka bibi kakra bi. E dia kire party man nyina e won kabom sunkwa aba. And they almost tie the newly presidential candidate echi. Honorable Kennedy Akompraku Japan.
Ukrudu. 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 The former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the flag bearer elect Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, all the aspirants present, party chairman, general secretary, minority leader, chairman of the Council of Elders, and MPP party. I stand before you to pledge my support, also to accept the results declared by EC. The delegates have spoken, and I want to plead with my supporters that they should stay calm and respect the results and help all of us to work together to win 2029 or 2028 election. I want to advise my supporters. First, I want to thank you, but I advise that in election, you can win and you can lose. So if you lose, you have to accept it in good faith. So let's all of us throw our support to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the flag bearer. And all I say is, MPP, we need unity in the party. But unity comes with respect. We have to respect each other's views. That is all I want to say tonight. So congratulations to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and MPP. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kennedy Akompraku Japan. We will now invite Honorable Dr. Brian Champon.
Thank you very much. His Excellency, the former President of the Republic, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, His Excellency, the former Vice President, Dr. Alhaji Mahamudu Bawumia, the National Chairman of the party, respected patriots, I congratulate my senior brother and patriot, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, on his victory and wish him every success as he leads our party forward. I called him earlier this evening to let him know he has my full support. Most importantly, I thank God for his grace, guidance, and protection throughout this journey. I am deeply grateful for how far he has brought us. The past 4 months has been very heavy, but incredibly rewarding to all of us, especially the MPP. Whilst tonight's outcome is not what I had hoped for, I accept the results with humility, and my resolve remains strong. My heartfelt thanks goes to Ghanaians who opens their doors and hearts to us, to every delegate who believed in this vision and walked the journey with me, to my campaign team, my coordinators, communicators, and thousands of volunteers who gave their time, energy, and belief. I am equally grateful to my family for their patience and prayers, and to the former President, His Excellency John Ejekum Kufuor, and His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo for their wisdom and guidance. To my fellow aspirants for a spirited contest, and to the Presidential Elections Committee for overseeing a professional process. Now more than ever, the MPP must stand united as one family. Our collective responsibility is to rebuild trust with Ghanaians, strengthen our structures, and prepare decisively for victory in 2028. Unity, discipline, and purpose must guide our next steps. I remain fully committed, say Kutu, to the ideas and ideals of our party and to the service of Ghana. God bless the new patriotic party, God bless our democracy, and God bless our homeland, Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Dr. Brian Echampong. We shall now receive some brief remarks from Honorable Yao Edichum.
Your Excellency, the former President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Excellency, the former Vice President and flag bearer-elect, Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia, Party Executive General Secretary and Chairman of the Council of Elders, we have Minority Leader, and all other executives of our party. I'm incredibly honored to be on this platform with my fellow contestants. It has been a fierce battle. This is where we are. We have, fortunately, have a leader emerged. This evening I called my brother Mahamudu Bawumia, and I congratulated him for the sweet victory that he has secured. And I believe that the elephant will come back on track. We will be out of the woods. We are going to secure victory in 2028. That means we have to all come together, and together, forging unity, we will bring back the great elephant party where it ought to be, in government and as a minority in parliament. I believe that the better days of our party is ahead of us and not behind us. We will definitely secure victory, but it calls for unity. and I believe that unity will come. I want to take this opportunity to thank my family. I want to take this opportunity to thank the good people of Bosomtwe constituency. And also, I want to thank all the party faithfuls who welcomed me to their constituencies throughout this period of time. I want to thank them. And I want to say I accept the fact that I did not win. But I know somebody has won. I'll wholeheartedly support the winner so that this party will secure victory come December 7, 2028 and move into government in 2029. Thank you all for your support. May God richly bless you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Yaoduchum. And finally, Engineer Pabna Ej Ejapong.
Your Excellency, the former President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Your Excellency, the former Vice President, and the flag bearer of our party, my brother, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, our chairman of our party, our general secretary, the chairman of Council of Elders, all other protocols observed. I'm really thrilled to be here this evening to share this very somber moment with all of us. I identify with all the sentiments expressed by my fellow aspirants. I also want to add that we have a wonderful opportunity to restore the values that animated the formation of this solid party, the MPP. We can be proud of our forebears, that our tradition is a tradition that is responsible for the sustenance of democracy in our country. And together we will unite, and I trust that we'll work hard, as we've always done in the past. Right from the polling stations up to the top, let's work together with a passion and a purpose for the people of Ghana. I am confident that we will earn the trust of Ghanaians. We will earn the confidence of Ghanaians. And in 2028, the elephant will be back. Congratulations to all of you for your
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Engineer Kwabena Japan. Thank you very much, Honorable Kennedy Akompre Japan. You can now take your seat. Honorable Dr. Brian Champon, thank you. Honorable Yao Adichum, thank you. Engineer Kwabena Japan. We will now Kukudu. Let's welcome the former President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Let's welcome
the acting chairman of our great party, the flag bearer and 2028 presidential candidate of the NPP, Minority Leader of Parliament, the former Chief of Staff, the Chairperson and members of the Presidential Election Committee, distinguished former flag bearer aspirants, Chairman of the Council of Elders, fellow patriots, fellow Ghanaians, ladies and gentlemen. Fellow patriots, tonight is a night of renewal. First, let me congratulate Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia on a decisive victory. To the over 200,000 delegates who turned out in strength and unity, you have spoken clearly. You have spared us the uncertainty of a runoff and given our party, the New Patriotic Party, a head start to victory in 2028. Your verdict is unmistakable. You have affirmed that the 8 years in which Dr. Bawumia served as Vice President laid a strong foundation for our future contest. And you affirm that he's the leader with vision, experience, and competence to return the New Patriotic Party to government and Ghana to greater heights. But victory tonight is only the beginning. The task before us is to turn this momentum into a movement. We must bring everyone together, every region, every constituency, every volunteer, every supporter into a single unstoppable team. The breakdown of the results of the election dictate this necessity. We now have the longest runway in our party's history to prepare for a general election. Let us use it well. This year is for healing wounds, reorganizing our structures, and strengthening our parliamentary front line, especially if we choose to elect parliamentary candidates in constituencies we do not have MPs. Every week must count. Every constituency must be involved. Every organizer must be empowered. And every communicator must speak with confidence. With the flag bearer chosen, let us end the era of faction. From constituency to region to national office, our purpose is singular. Elect officers who will serve the party's interests, support our candidate, and help secure victory in 2028. Nothing more, nothing less. To our presidential candidate, lead with a big heart, lead with decisiveness, lead with clarity of purpose, lead with all of us behind you. Stretch out your hand to all who stood in this race. And to those who did not prevail, stand tall in loyalty. In our tradition, true loyalty is proven not in victory, but how we respond to defeat. I am confident that each one of you will honor the proud MPP heritage, where after contest, we close ranks and march together. 18 years ago, I chose Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia as my running mate. We stood side by side through 4 elections. I know his mind, his character, his love for Ghana, and his appetite for hard work. He is loyal to party and country. With the full support of our rank and file and the continued generosity of our supporters, I know that he will lead us back to victory. The recovery of the economy that was charted before we left office is becoming visible and felt. Those necessary policies to stabilize and reposition our economy are bearing fruit. That is our message, rooted in achievement, guided by responsibility, articulated by a party united with one voice and animated by a bold vision for the future. I know that with Dr. Bawumia, we will present a clear, credible plan to grow the economy, back enterprise, create jobs, protect the vulnerable, and unleash the ingenuity of our young people. The NPP has done it before. Under Dr. Bawumia, we will do it again and do it better. My commitment tonight is simple. I'll devote my energy to supporting efforts to unite our party, re-energizing our base, and earning anew the trust of the Ghanaian people. Let us go to every community with humility and confidence. Let us listen, organize, and work. So, let us rise together. Let us believe again in the NPP's mission. Free the energies of our people. Reward hard work. Uphold the rule of law. And build a Ghana where every child can dream and every citizen can develop. With unity as our strength and service as our compass, we shall prevail again. Congratulations, Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia, and your beautiful wife, Hajia Samir. The journey to 228, the journey to 2028 begins tonight. And with God's grace, the NPP will move forward stronger, together, and more hopeful than ever. Thank you, and may God bless our party and our nation.
Thank you very much. Our former president. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, we are grateful. We are grateful. The General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party is ready to perform a special task. I will now welcome the General Secretary, our General Secretary, your General Secretary, everybody's General Secretary, Justin Kodia Frimpong, JFK.
Thank you.
Our acting chairman, colleague national officers, members of NEC present, members of National Council present, Your Excellency, the former President of Ghana, Your Excellency, the former Vice President and the wife, our former presidential aspirants, Anointing Group, ladies and gentlemen, today is a very important day for the New Patriotic Party. We have, as a party, demonstrated our tenacity to democracy and rule of law. But let us be mindful that this evening we have not won an election. But this evening we have elected a flag bearer. The bigger task is for the election 2028. For all of us gathered here, from today onwards, we don't have camp of Dr. Bawumia and camp of other people. From today onwards, we have only one camp, which is the new patriotic camp. I take this opportunity on behalf of the party to express our utmost gratitude to the Presidential Elections Committee for a good job done. We also take the opportunity to thank the Electoral Commission and the Ghana Police Service for the professional work that they exhibited today. Again, we take this opportunity to thank our rank and file on the way and manner in which they comported and conducted themselves for us to have a successful presidential primaries. As a party, I recall when we took the decision to hold the presidential elections first, many of you did not understand us. But today, the party has been vindicated for taking that bold decision to hold the presidential election early. At least, for now, we know we have over 2 years, 11 months to campaign. We know we have enough time to close our ranks. And knowing the caliber of His Excellency Dr. Bawumia, his doors is always open for all of us. To my colleagues, my friends who supported different aspirants, the party has a role for all of us. And I want to assure you, the way and manner in which you show energy to campaign and to communicate for your candidates, this is the time to also to show the same energy and communicate for the party. And I can assure all of you that the leadership of our party will continue to be free, fair, and transparent in our dealings. There are several activities that are going to go on. There's going to be elections of party officers. And I can assure you, His Excellency Dr. Bawumia will continue to remain fair and neutral and make sure that we elect leaders who will man our offices. I have a simple task this evening, and that task is to present and introduce to you the 2028 presidential candidate of the new Patriotic Party, the man who is going to secure us victory in 2028 elections, the man who is tried and tested, the compassionate Dr. Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia. With a resounding applause and noise, let us welcome our presidential candidate, His Excellency, Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia. Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia.
Our presidential candidate, our next president.
Your Excellency, the former President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Acting Chairman of the party, the General Secretary, distinguished members of the Council of Elders, honorable members of Parliament, our minority leader, our hard-working national, regional, and constituency executives, electoral area coordinators, nation executives, former flag bearer aspirants, fellow Kukrodites, ladies and gentlemen. I want to start by thanking God Almighty for making this day possible. I also want to thank all the tens of thousands of delegates who voted in today's election. Officials of the EC, security agencies, the Presidential Election Committee, the media, and the generality of the Ghanaian people. Your vote, your work, your coverage, and your general following have all contributed to getting us thus far. It is with a deep sense of pride and humility that I address you this evening, following what has turned out to be a blistering battle for the flag bearership of the new patriotic party. To secure anything precious in this life, we must be prepared to fight the hard battles, prepared to work hard, and be prepared to withstand difficult circumstances. I am glad that you and I have successfully fought the hard battles, worked hard, and withstood the difficulties that came our way. And tonight, victory is for all of us. I am grateful. The MPP is grateful to you all, and Ghana is grateful. I need to reiterate from the outset, our tradition has an enviable history of selecting leaders largely based on the mood of the party. At any time, our party unites around an individual, usually the best bet for national elections and governance. This individual usually emerges meritoriously on account of loyalty and contributions to party growth. It is our members' way of rewarding loyalty, vision, competence, and sacrifice. Our members have done this meticulously and repeatedly. As democratic space setters, we need to respect the wisdom and the decisions of our members represented by the delegates. It matters not which side you supported. Winners and those who didn't win at this particular time, we are in this together. All true and committed members of the great MPP need to embrace this civilized and time-tested way of selecting flag bearers. Political parties are assemblies of like-minded people. Whilst we may believe that our ideas are the best, we should be prepared to accept that there might be other ideas that may serve the larger interest of the party. As it is often said, after competition comes cooperation, and our expectation that all party members will apply themselves to this principle. It cannot be the case that one's support for the party is maintained only when those we support lead. I want to stand on this energy to make a passionate appeal to all members of the great MPP to let go of whatever reservations they have and come together. We need every idea, every voice, and every piece of advice to help us preserve and project a proud tradition bequeathed to us by our forebears. Let it not be said anywhere on any day that the party of B.J. Darochi, Peter Alajete, Odoy Sykes, J. Kufuor, Professor Mike Okwe, C.K. Tedham, J.H. Mensah, Aliu Mahama, Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, among other great patriots, could not handle disagreements as natural ways of stating alternative positions. I have the duty to the delegates who stood by me and to the delegates who found worthy ideas in my brothers who contested me. My election today communicates a broad-based appeal across the party, and I need to draw directly on that capital to unite the party as one of the crucial steps to winning power in 2028. I call on all to join in this bounden duty. After all, as the Akans say, prayer se uyi bako ena ebu ukaboma emu. United we stand, and divided we fall. As we embark on this crucial journey to rebuild our brand and reposition our party for electoral glory, let me remind you, dear party members, that whatever we have gone through during the past few months is not new in the politics of Ghana. We have been through this on a number of occasions, and on each of them, we have shown we have even emerged. We have shown that we have the resilience and fortitude to overcome and even emerge stronger, and herein lies the opportunity. Fellow Crocodites, the data shows that anytime the MPP is solidly behind the chosen flag bearer, the Ghanaian voter returns the favor by voting massively for our usually superior and life-changing policies and programs. We cannot therefore fail ourselves or Ghanaians. On this crucial point, I will undertake targeted engagements to revitalize our party, speaking with all members. This includes visits to some of our respected elders who for various reasons feel aggrieved. Every voice matters. Every opinion is worth considering, and every suggestion is vital to building a formidable strategy. To the youth of our party, the outcome of this contest rightly belongs to you. We will not be at the helm of affairs forever. The future of our party rests on your energy, dedication, and desire to see a vibrant political vehicle. Anytime the youth groups in the party rise, the great elephant soars. To the millions of our supporters and sympathizers nationwide, I know some of you refrained from voting in the last election because you were unhappy with several issues. We have started the process of reform. I assure you, Mahmoud Bawumia as flag bearer will do everything to ensure that the MPP listens more to you, is more mindful of your views, and is more reflective of your desires. We have a duty to bequeath a vibrant party to you, as was done to us. I am going to immediately work with the relevant recognized party structures to roll out a series of engagement sessions with various youth groups, both formal and informal, across the length and breadth of the country, to enable the development of a formidable youth platform that will be resourced for the task ahead. One of the most important things I'm interested in is discipline within our ranks. An army that lacks discipline will struggle to win its battles. The MPP needs to step up discipline internally, discipline in our operations, discipline in our communications, and discipline in the conduct of our members. The days when it is said of us, when it was said of us, that some displayed untoward behavior to the Ghanaian people should be a thing of the past. I will work closely with the national leadership to ensure that discipline is restored as the hallmark of the MPP. Let us celebrate in moderation. We must avoid actions that are more likely to compound tensions than to forge unity. As far as I am concerned, everybody has won. I urge all patriots to reach out to one another, place phone calls, and send WhatsApp and text messages to make personal visits. We have what it takes to reorganize and achieve a resounding victory in 2028. Let me extend heartfelt thanks to my campaign teams and volunteers at every level for staying focused throughout this period. I would also like to express my appreciation to the security agencies and all media houses. In particular, I want to express my heartfelt thanks to my beautiful wife, Samira. She has been a solid pillar to me in this campaign. Tonight, I pay tribute to my predecessors, Professor Albert Edubuahi, John Ajekum Kufuor, and Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo. I say thank you to every contestant for participating in this race and for giving delegates an opportunity to make an informed choice. I say a special thank you to the members of Parliament who championed my bid, both in Parliament and in their various constituencies. I will never forget what you have done for me, and I will never forget you. Thank you to all the polling station executives, electoral area coordinators, constituency executives, regional executives, former members of Parliament, former party executives, all former MMDCs and government appointees, to our religious leaders and clergy across the country. Thank you. To my youth campaign team and the teeming young people across the country who championed this campaign from day one in the various communities, campuses, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, I say thank you. You remain my allies on this journey. Together, we will get this done. We still have a way to go, but the youth have proven that given the opportunity, they can conquer the world, and I believe in you. The polls have ended, but our push for a stronger MPP has just begun. With Almighty God, we shall succeed. The journey to victory 2028 has just begun. We are in this together. We shall work together, and we will win together. We shall work together, and we will win together. God bless you. God bless the New Patriotic Party, and God bless our homeland, Ghana. Thank you very much for your attention.
Right, so there you had the presidential or the flag bearer for the New Patriotic Party ahead of the 2028 general elections, Alhaji Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia speaking there, and he has promised a number of things and, of course, thanked everybody who joined his bid or supported his bid towards becoming the party's flag bearer ahead of the elections in 2028. Before that, we heard from the various aspirants, from all four of them, saying that they're supporting the one who's been chosen by the delegates, in this case, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, ahead of the elections. I'm going to take the thoughts of our guest here, Professor Echesikanku, and he's been following keenly all the things he's been saying. And of course, we heard from former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo also. Now, a few things I picked from Dr. Bawumia's speech. He says every voice matters. Every voice matters. And so whoever you are, especially the disgruntled elders of the party, can always reach out to him. He talked about the youth, that the MPP will listen to the youth and to their concerns. And he also touched on discipline in the party, a very key one to note there, Prof. So you heard from the flag bearer for the NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, there, and you heard the things that he said. What do you make of that?
Yes, thank you very much. You know, a day like this reminds me of something that happened that shook the world in 2008 when Barack Obama won the Iowa caucuses for the first time. It was significant because people thought it was an impossibility. And then it happened and it shook the world. When I see this, you know, it reminds me of times like this because although it's not the same thing, I mean, there are some similar things that we could say about it.
Right.
You know, people thought a day like this would never come for Dr. Bawumia, especially after the huge loss, defeat in 2024 elections. People thought that was the end of him. There was a call, there was a clamor, you know, for a new candidate. In fact, a number of people said if Alan was still in the party, this was his time. They felt he was, too tainted, Dr. Bawumia, to lead the party again. And so, for many people, they thought that was the end of him. You know, and I remember, I would like to paraphrase Obama. You know, when he won, he said something. He said, they said this day would never come. Well, I believe Dr. Bawumia has a certain sense of relief because for him as well, it looked like this day would never come. And for some people, they said he would never lead the party again. They said that the party was too Akan-based, you know, too traditional to give it to a Northerner, you know, to lead. They said that Dr. Bawumia had so much baggage from the previous administration, was too tainted to lead the party. They said he was not courageous or strong or aggressive enough to lead the party, but he has demonstrated the tenor, the agility, you know, and the capacity to run a great primary campaign and have a decisive one-touch victory. You know, so on this January 9th, this last day of the month.
January 31, you mean?
On January 30th. This is January 30th, right?
31.
31.
Yes.
Yes, I was right.
You said 9th.
No. I said 9th.
Oh, 9th. Oh, I had 9.
No.
In January 9th.
So, yes,
right.
on this last day of the month, you know, he has made history as a non-Akan based person who has repeated. So it meant that the first win that he had was not a fluke. It was not because he necessarily had the establishment support. We have to recognize that a win like this solidifies Dr. Bawumia's leadership of the NPP. He has won several regions. Akan, the Ashanti region, Greater Accra, you know, and it is a broad-based victory showing broad-based support for him and not a sectional support. And I think that it signifies a new moment for the party and a new beginning for him.
Right, I'll come back to you quickly for your final thoughts, especially with the things he's talked about that he will do for the party. Bright, your final in 2 minutes. Spoken, the former president spoke, everybody spoken. Your thoughts?
I mean, during when they were speaking, I was just particular about what Kennedy was going to say. I mean, the fact that he says he's willing to support whoever the party chose, and that since Dr. Bawumia is back, he's happy and will lend his support to him. I mean, that's something good. And so at least we know that, because I remember I remember 4 years ago when Dr. Bawumia was elected as a flag bearer for the MPP. The party members had to wait for him, Kennedy Japan, to come before proceedings began. But today he's there. He was there before he started. He's been smiling through it all. He's been on stage smiling and promising support and all that. So at least you see that, in as much as elections may have ended just a few minutes or hours ago, the cracks in the party seems to be getting fixed already. Hopefully.
Okay, right. So, Bright, thank you very much there. So, Prof, wrapping up with you so that we can call it a night. Okay, Kwesi. Yes, quickly.
Just one. The whole thing for me marks two things. Prof touched on them. I'll touch on them briefly, and then the number one is the religious aspect. I think for me, politics, if you want to take it into religion, God will show you He's God, and that's just it. God is God. You can't trust yourself too much. But we should also be mindful that for many verses in the Bible, God allows people to choose who they want to lead them as of now. So even if you see, you should be mindful the way you put things around. And God can choose anybody to lead or can allow anybody to be chosen. The kind of religious rancor or the religious problems that were rearing its head, especially in the body politic of the NPP, was very unpalatable. And so the choice of Bawumia, for me, disputes or watered down that thing which was coming up. Number two is the ethnicity. And the NPP was getting to become notorious for being an Akan party. And so if you are not an Akan, it means you are not going to win. For me, Bawumia's win was good and is good for the NPP because if he had lost, my concern will be not about him being an ordinary, but tomorrow, if I am from the Volta region,
right,
or if I'm an Nzima, and which is a minority within the NPP group, and I've done so much for the NPP, or I've built so many factories in the country, done everything, stayed true as a politician, and done all of that, and I want to become the president of the country, or the people want me to become the president of the country, it means I can't go on the ticket of the NPP. It means that if I don't fall within the Ashantis and the Kous and the Easterners, I can't go on the ticket of the NPP. But this now watered down the effect of that. It means that everybody who is within the fraternity, whether you are a Frafra, whether you are a Gunja, whether you're wherever you are from, it doesn't matter. If you are a Ga, if you are an Nzima, whatever, there is the road has been set. So I think it's a good call.
Yeah, that's a very good point to note there. So, Prof, coming to you for the final word for the day as we wrap up on this.
Sure. Thank you very much. So, I mean, I would say that, yes, this is a good advertisement for internal democracy. This is a good advertisement for democracy in Ghana, a good advertisement for democracy in Africa. And it has brought to an end the long period of competition and the long period of campaigning in the primaries. This is a moment of transition for the party, to transition from the internal competition to a more broad-based national campaign. So it's a very good transition moment. And if you look at the speech that Dr. Bawumia gave I just did a quick analysis and came up with a couple of themes to show what it is that the kind of future that we'll be looking forward to. So first of all, there was gratitude. He showed a lot of gratitude to his campaign, to the party, to his supporters, to God, his family, and all of that. I would say that in terms of his demeanor, he was very, very gentle as usual. Even though he has won, he was not. He didn't excessively celebrate. He was very humble and very measured, and that has been his trademark. Very disciplined. And discipline was a major theme in that speech.
Right.
And so you would see that the MPP really believes that they need to use discipline as an organizing principle moving forward in order to bring a lot of tolerance and coherence in the party. And then, of course, unity. He wanted to signal that an era or an ideology of collectiveness or collective communalism or togetherness. Togetherness was a major theme. And then he talked about reform and party renewal, that they are prepared to listen more to the various constituencies of the party, which is important because the grassroots feel that they've been left behind. And then the last thing was the youth. He spent a lot of time talking about the youth, signaling that they believe that the youth would be an important stakeholder within the party. He signaled that he wanted the youth to take ownership in the party. They will not be left behind, but would rather be included. So a certain spirit of inclusivity or a certain theme of inclusivity characterized this particular speech as well.
Right. So wrapping up on that is going to be, we're going to wait and see how this turns out for the NPP, and of course wait for the NDC's exercise also, and see who comes up to be the flag bearer of the party in 2026. This is where we draw the curtains of today's production. Many thanks to Professor H.A. Kanku. He is the Dean of the School of Journalism and Media Studies at UNIMAC, and earlier...
Very important.
Media.
That's it's very important.
Especially the School of Journalism.
Yes,
Media
I agree.
Studies.
I agree, 100%.
Thank you. That's why
That's he's the best.
That's why I'd also earlier heard from lawyer Ishak Ibrahim, and to all my colleagues too. Everybody was part of this production. Kosie Friye, Bright Amenin, Bright Jaka, to the production team, to all the producers, everybody, social media, everybody who came together, to our men on the ground, our women and men on the ground, our reporters. Thank you so much. Our camera men and women technicians, everybody, we appreciate you so much. So this is where we wrap up. My name is Desmond Okreku Danso. Keep watching us here on Metro TV. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Have a good night. Bye-bye.